Your Excellency, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, ably represented here by my big brother, Honorable Chris Tucker, Distinguished Senator George Akume, Excellency, the Honorable Minister for Information and National Orientation, ably represented here by the Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, representative of the Honorable Minister of Defense, General A.T. Juvrin. It's good to see you again, sir. Reps of the Honorable Minister of FCT, the SSA to the President on Disability, my own sister, the wife of my former colleague, the former National Vice Chairman of APC for North Central, Honorable Mustafa Saliu, my darling sister, Mrs. Saliu, thank you for that. I didn't expect less. If you read her husband's letter, you will know that he runs in the family. Representative of the Chief of Defense Staff, distinguished guests from the African Union, from the British High Commission, coordinators and focal persons, representative of the partners, Chestrat Global, and let me extend all the protocols or stand on the existing protocol. We're here because of the vision of an exceptional lady, an outstanding Nigerian. We're here because of someone who chose to walk a different path and to be a trailblazer in a generation, to be an exceptional senior special assistant to the president. She reminds me of people like Deborah, who said, "And then I rose to become a mother in Israel." If you want to clap for her, please clap for her. She's my Chinese sister. We're both in China just last week. Just that she came a few days from me. I came in yesterday evening. Abiodun Eshet, we are very proud of you. The Nigerian youth are proud of you. I have been to the villa, I think almost 20 years now I've been coming to the villa. I've been coming at least since 2002 when President Obasanjo was head of state in December, or 2001. 2002, I was chairman of the Presidential Summit of Nigerian Children, the ICO. But at no time have I ever come to the villa and this place has been used like this. It takes somebody who thinks out of the box. And you may not understand why we're here. We're not in the banquet hall. We're here in the midst of history, surrounded by the founding fathers of our great nation. You know, when the scripture says in Hebrew that we have a great cloud of witnesses, this is what they're talking about. That what we're doing today is historical for us. We are being observed by founding fathers of our great nation. From people like Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe, or even far back as Sir Lord Frederick Lugard, up to Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and all the leaders, General Muhammadu Buhari, Agoy Ironsi, are witness to what we're doing today. But the greatest witness are the young people who are here, the volunteers who have given their time, their energy, and their resources to help to make the vision of our super intelligent SSAP a reality. The Chinese have a word. They say, "You Chennai, you Kenai." Good thinking, good product. This is good thinking and good product. But I'm not surprised that Abiodun is doing this because she comes from the development family. I come from that family too. Started NGO when I was 8. I was part of CLO, CDHR. Back then, Abdul Oro, Ayobe, and the others, and started my own NGO. And you know, Abiodun has been there for almost 20 years now too, serving a generation, even when she never thought that she would ever serve in this presidential villa. And because of her volunteerism, her partnership, has serviced humanity when there was no money and when there was nobody watching. Today she sits in the echelon of power as a special assistant to the president, not representing her interests, but speaking for the voices that have no voice in Buruku, Benue State, in Taraba, in Kwara, Ilorin, and of Ilorin, for example, and many cities in North Central. Like Honorable Taka said, ensuring that she becomes a voice for the voiceless in the corridors of power. I think she deserves a big round of applause. This is what we need at this time. Our country sits on the press of danger. We are sitting on a keg of gunpowder. There is so much disquiet in the land. Oppositions are trying to take advantage of the situations. Our good intentions are currently being misunderstood because life has its element of pain. I always talk about building and construction. My friend Sujimoto is building one of the tallest buildings in Banana Island in Lagos. And it's amazing when you look at what has gone in there. Let me talk about the story for a minute. He's building a very tall building. So for him to go up, he's had to dig deep to do piling. He's got to do massive piling on the structure, on the land, which means the higher he wants to go, the deeper he wants to. So now, Suji has brought so much cement, so much materials, and so much casting, pouring it into the ground to form the base and the foundation. Now, this is the shocking part. On that location of the site, he has built like aluminum palms surrounding. So people who are going out on the street cannot see what is going on in there. Yet, he has spent over 2 billion on just piling and nobody has seen nothing. And so the mockers will go and say, what exactly is he building? He says he's building the toilet. We've not seen anything for almost 2 years. He said he has spent 10 billion. That's a lie. Where is 10 billion? We can't see it. But you can't see it because he's building down. You cannot effectively build up until you are built down. And so when people say, what is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu doing? Please help me look at them and say, he's building down. Because you cannot go up until you have come down. Ezekiel, I think chapter 7 says, and then I sat where they sat, and then the word of the Lord came unto me. There's always a moment where you sit where they sat, where you have to be attentive, active, engaging, and listening. And that is what this citizen engagement project is all about. Sitting where they sat, where the people who matters most, the citizens, the grassroots, the locals, where they sit. That is the work of citizen engagement. To be able to feel their pains, understand their yearnings, and take the message back to the president and say, Mr. President, as noble as our ideas are, we also need to make adjustment here and here and here and here. And that is what it takes to have a listening president who can now say, is that what the people are saying? Don't worry, we are going to make an adjustment. And that is what the president has been doing. They said, oh, why does he say he wants to do this and do this again? Because in project management, there's what is called iteration. You try a process, you look at the impact and the result, you see if it fits, you make adjustment, because there's no one size fits all. Our country is too diverse, it's too dynamic. There are so many peculiarities that makes things require some level of thought, rethinking, learning, unlearning, and relearning. And so, with initiative like this, we're able to then go back to the people. And there is nothing as important, as critical, as sitting where people sit and hearing their thoughts, hearing their concerns, and iterating that and taking that to the places that matter most. Let me wrap up with this. The United States Constitution starts with the statement, we, the people of the United States. The same thing with the United Nations Charter and the African Union Charter. I believe it's the same thing for the Constitution of Nigeria. We, the people, the biggest arm of government, the biggest strength of our nation, the biggest resource of our country. It's not the oils of the Niger Delta or the granite empires of the north. It is we, the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And as such, citizenship engagement People's engagement is critical to the success of our administration. It goes beyond voting and participation in election. It's about ensuring that local communities feel the impact of their government and that government effectively invests in our community. When I was in Lagos State serving on the board of SUBEB, I had the privilege of being invited by the SSG to the governor to serve on a committee called OCAT, OCOAT. And it was one of the biggest achievements of my time in Lagos. One community at a time. It was a project to impact community engagement, one community at a time. And through that project, we were able to build some boreholes in Badagry. We were able to renovate and build brand new schools in Ekpe, Itoki, and many other communities in Lagos State. We said the government was doing their own through the ministries, but under one community at a time, we would identify a community, take an intervention there, based on our need assessment in those communities to complement whatever any ministry was doing, even though we had interministerial representation on the OCAT team. I want to advise my sister, let's take this community engagement to another top notch. Let's identify communities and take specific intervention, one community at a time, and working together, we will be able to make Nigeria a better place. And finally, my message to young volunteers who are here. I was in high school. In the late 90s, I was wrapping up my secondary school, but had gotten involved as far back as 1997 in the pro-democracy movement. I was volunteering with Moshood Abiola Vanguard for Democracy under Lanre Suraj, CLO with Abdul Oro, Ayobe when they were still many NGOs at that time, but I was always going there in my school uniform. It gave me opportunity, it gave me exposure, it gave me knowledge. And guess what? In 1999, after Abacha had gone, after Abiola had come back to Nigeria to start up KIND, Kudirat Initiative for Democracy, we were in the house on MKO Abiola Crescent, Toftoin Street, Ikeja, Lagos. And we had Afsat, Jimiate, I think it was Jikaato or Jimiate from NTA, and many eminent Tony Abbey and many other leaders. Collins Babalola from Canada. And I was there in my school uniform as a little boy because I had been doing advocacy in my secondary school. I was the youngest person in that room. No surprise that about a year later, December 1999 or 2000, I was elected as the first Deputy Senate President of the Nigerian Children's Parliament, pioneered by the Ministry of Information and Auntie Mose Loka Rakwe, from volunteering and doing stuff in my community. By 2001, September, I was invited to represent Nigerian children at the United Nations Special Assembly Special Session on Children in New York. I was just a teenager. Even though on my way to the airport, the terrorist attack happened on September 11, May, when they rescheduled the event, May 2002 of the next year, we were there with Nelson Mandela in New York. From there, I've been invited to Buckingham Palace, and so are you. From what? From just volunteering. So don't say they don't have money to give us. They are not paying us. I would not be here today if I had not volunteered. When I moved to England as a teenager, I went to work for Save the Children UK. They were paying me £10 a day as an intern volunteering with Save the Children UK. My colleagues were working in McDonald's for £10 an hour, but I chose to work in the development sector for £10 a day when my colleagues were earning it for an hour. But the experiences I garnered over those processes have helped me today. So take this experience serious. Contribute, volunteer. In the end, not only will Nigerians benefit, but you would also become a better person. Thank you and God bless you.